Hello dear students. In this video, we will learn how to pass address of a variable to a function, also called as call by address. Just check the program given over here is having a function called f1, and this function is having a parameter which is a pointer, because p is having asterisk symbol written before it. So the function f1 is having a pointer parameter. Now, if the parameter is a pointer here, then obviously we must pass address to this particular pointer, because you all know that pointer stores address. Now, just ignore what has been written in the function, but let's see what main is doing. When main starts, there is a statement x equal to 10, where x is an integer. So as far as memory is concerned, we can show that x is a variable stored in the memory, and let's assume that integer consumes 2 bytes as we did in earlier videos, and the value of x is 10. Now obviously x will have some address. Let's assume that address of x is 100 and 101. This is how 2-byte variable is stored in the memory. The next line is quite obvious, which is printing the value of x, so the first output on the screen would be 1. Now comes the call. You just check the line which I am underlining, f1 and x. Now what are we passing to this function f1? We are passing ampersand x. That means we are passing address of x. So obviously address of x is passed and it is copied. It is copied in the parameter which is a pointer. So when this f1 function will start, there will be a new variable or new pointer created in the memory. This pointer was not there all this time, but the pointer has been just now created, and you can see that this pointer is literally going to store 100, because p is very well storing address of x. So we say p points to x. Now what do you know from the fundamentals that we learned in the earlier videos? If p points to x, then asterisk p is nothing but x. Isn't it so? You can say asterisk p is value to which p points, but the value to which p points is x. So now the next line in the function which I am underlining here is asterisk p equal to asterisk p plus 1. My appeal to you is that you don't even read it as asterisk p is asterisk p plus 1, as I was warning all the time. You read this as x should become x plus 1, because asterisk p is nothing but x, the value of x. So by this time x will become 11. And the second line of the function which I am underlining is now printing asterisk p. Asterisk p again means value to which p points, and that value is 11. So, first output will be 10. I am so sorry, not 1. I'm so sorry, because x is 10 here. Okay. So the second output will be 11, because asterisk p here means x, and we are printing the value of x. Now what happens is the function ends due to this close brace. Now you just check, when the function ends, we come back to main and we are trying to print x. But then x has already become 11, and remember it's a variable and it will stay 11 till you next change it. So this line is now going to print 11. What you observed is that if you pass address of a variable to a function, then that address must be copied in a pointer. Okay, so the parameter must be a pointer. And now if you use the pointer and try to change the value, you are using the pointer and trying to change the value, then the value of the original variable whose address had been passed will change. This feature is called calling function by passing address, or in short, call by address. By the way, you see a few things which are quite obvious. before we jump to some conclusion that we have understood this, just see, suppose I write the function as void f1 int p, okay, and something has been written that's immaterial, but check this parameter. Now the parameter isn't a pointer, it's simply an integer. And in main, let's say in main, I attempt to call the function f1 by passing address of x, just as I did here. Now you see I am calling the function by passing some address. Now my intention is that the address should be received by the parameter, but this is wrong. The parameter here cannot receive the address because it isn't a pointer. So this is going to give a compiler error that you are passing the address, but how can you receive address in a simple integer variable? This p has to be qualified as a pointer, only then it will receive the address. Secondly, if p receives the address of x, then we know that p now stores the address of x. So we know p points to x. X is a variable and it points to x. Now if you do any changes using asterisk p, say asterisk p is asterisk p minus 1, then the value of x will change. If it was 10, it will become 9 and it will stay 9. So that is what is exactly call by address. I have written a few definitions over here with some explanation of the program. The address of x is passed and all that, and what does asterisk p mean? You can pause the video and check this definition, or rather I can call explanation of the program. Well, few videos back when we were learning about function, we also learned what do you mean by call by value. What do you mean by this? In this video, we are learning call by address. But we have learned some program like this, you watch. Just check here. I'll just again zoom out. Just check here that if you see main is having a variable x whose value is 10. So there is a variable x in the memory whose value is 10. Assume it is 2-byte variable and the address of x is 100, 101. Now the next line is obviously printing x. So the first output will be 10. No doubt about it. But now you watch this call. We are calling f1 function by passing value of x. Never ever read this line as f1 is called by passing x. No, we are not passing x. We are passing value of x. And value of x is 10. This value will be received by a simple integer parameter. P is now an integer parameter and 10 goes in P. So when this function begins, when f1 begins, there is a parameter P opened in the memory whose value is 10. But P will have different memory location. P is a new variable in the memory and it is different variable as compared to x. Note, P has only received copy of x, but P is not x. P and x are different. So the next line in the function increases P. That means P becomes 11, but there is no reason that x should become 11. X will stay 10. And then the next line is printing P. Very well, P is 11. So 11 will be printed. And here ends our function. Now when the function ends, the next line over here is printing x when we come back to main. And in main, we are supposed to print x. And you can see that x is still 10 because any changes made in P have not changed x. I hope you are understanding. So this is known as call by value. Just take a note, when you pass value to a function, then that value gets copied in a simple parameter, not a pointer parameter. And if you make any changes in the value of that parameter, then original value, the actual value passed will not change. That's call by a value. Now in the coming videos, we will practice by seeing more such programs on call by value and call by reference. But this was conceptual part about these two types of callings. So thank you very much.